Deep in the heart of England, in the county of Leicestershire, there's a place called the Dane Hills. Deep in the heart of England, in the county of Leicestershire, there's a place called the Dane Hills. It's a quiet, unassuming area now, but centuries ago, parents would whisper a terrifying name to their children to make them behave: Black Annis. This wasn't just some made-up bogeyman. For the people of Leicestershire, the threat felt chillingly real. The stories told of a monstrous hag with a blue face, iron claws, and a single malevolent eye. She was said to live in a cave she clawed out of the sandstone rock with her own talons, a dreadful burrow known as Black Annis's Bower. But what truly made the blood run cold was her appetite. Black Annis, the legend goes, had a taste for human flesh, especially that of children and lambs. At dusk, she would creep out of her bower, silent and unseen, and roam the countryside. With her incredible sense of smell, she could track her prey for miles. If an unsuspecting child strayed too far from home, or a lamb wandered from its flock, she would snatch them up, drag them back to her cave, and devour them whole. Afterwards, she would tan their skins and hang them from the branches of an old oak tree that stood guard at the entrance to her lair. The villagers believed the rustling of leaves in the wind was actually the sound of these grisly trophies swaying in the breeze. So, who was this terrifying figure? Where did the legend of Black Annis come from? Today, we're digging into the dark folklore of one of England's most fearsome characters. We'll explore the origins of her story, the historical and mythological threads that might have woven her into existence, and why her tale has haunted the imaginations of people for generations. Is she just a story to scare naughty kids? Or is there something much older and darker lurking beneath the surface? Stick around as we venture into Black Annis's Bower. The first thing you notice about Black Annis is her terrifying appearance. The descriptions paint a picture of pure nightmare fuel. A blue-tinted face, twisted with malice. A single glaring eye that sees all, and most famously, her long, sharp iron claws, strong enough to dig through solid rock and tear flesh from bone. She was often depicted as a giantess, a crone of immense size and strength, able to easily overpower any man or child who crossed her path. Her howls were said to echo across the moors, a sound that would send shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. Her home, Black Annis's Bower, was a real place in the Dane Hills. Although the cave has long since been filled in, its location was well known to locals. It was said to be the starting point of a secret tunnel that ran all the way to Leicester Castle. This added another layer of fear to the legend. Not only could she hunt you in the open fields, but she could potentially travel underground, popping up where you least expected her, even in the heart of the city. The great oak tree that stood at her cave's entrance was a local landmark, its gnarled branches supposedly decorated with the macabre evidence of her feasts. Parents would point to it and warn their children, "If you're not good, Black Annis will get you and hang your skin on her tree." This practice of tanning skins is one of the most gruesome parts of the legend. It wasn't just for decoration. The stories claim she would wear the skins of her victims, creating a grotesque girdle around her waist. It's a detail that adds a primal, ritualistic element to her character, making her more than just a simple monster. It suggests a deeper, more ancient kind of evil. But where does such a specific and horrifying story come from? Folklorists have a few interesting theories. One of the most popular connects Black Annis to a much older, pre-Christian deity. Her name, Annis, could be a corruption of Anu, a powerful mother goddess in Celtic mythology, sometimes associated with the winter and the wild. In this interpretation, Black Annis is a demonized version of an ancient goddess. As Christianity spread across Britain, the old gods and spirits of the land were often transformed into devils, monsters, and evil witches in the popular imagination. The powerful, wild, and untamable nature of a goddess like Anu could easily have been twisted into the monstrous, child-eating hag we know as Black Annis. Her blue face also provides a clue. It might link her to the ancient Britons, or Celts, who were known to paint their bodies with woad, a blue dye, before going into battle. This could make Black Annis a folk memory of a powerful Celtic priestess or queen, remembered as a terrifying figure by later settlers like the Anglo-Saxons or Romans. Her character becomes a symbol of the wild and uncivilized past, a remnant of an older world that resisted being tamed. She represents the fear of the wilderness and the people who once inhabited it. Another fascinating theory ties her to the ritualistic practices of the ancient past. Some scholars suggest the story might be a distorted memory of real human sacrifices. The child-eating aspect could be a folk explanation for ancient rituals that were misunderstood or deliberately demonized over time. The idea of a powerful female figure associated with sacrifice is common in many old religions. In this light, Black Anis isn't just a monster. She's the shadowy echo of a forgotten spiritual practice, her legend preserving fragments of a past that society was trying to leave behind. It's also interesting to look at her in the context of other bogeyman figures. Almost every culture has a creature used to scare children into obedience. The Krampus in alpine regions, La Llorona in Latin America, or the Sackman who stuffs naughty children into his bag. These figures all play on the primal fear of being taken away from the safety of one's home and family. Black Anis is England's very own version of this archetype, but with a uniquely local flavour tied to the specific landscape of Leicestershire. The legend was so powerful that it became deeply embedded in local culture. For centuries, an annual ritual took place in Leicester to commemorate the story. On Easter Monday, a drag hunt was held, where the scent of a dead cat soaked in aniseed was laid from Black Anis's bower into the town of Leicester. The Lord Mayor and other officials would join the hunt, chasing the scent through the streets. This bizarre tradition was a symbolic cleansing of the town from the malevolent spirit of Anis. It was a way for the community to come together and collectively banish the monster for another year. The event was a huge public spectacle, blending fear, folklore, and civic pride. It shows just how real Black Anis was to the people of the time. She wasn't just a bedtime story. She was a force that needed to be actively confronted and expelled. So, what happened to Black Anis? Over time, as society modernized, belief in such figures began to fade. The Industrial Revolution changed the landscape, and the old wild places where monsters were thought to live began to shrink. The Dane Hills were enclosed and developed in the 19th century, and Black Anis's bower was filled in. The great oak tree is long gone. The Easter Monday hunt eventually died out. The tale of the blue-faced hag began to move from the realm of genuine belief into the world of folklore and literature. But she hasn't disappeared completely. Black Anis continues to live on in books, poems, and even modern fantasy. She's a testament to the power of stories to capture our darkest fears. She embodies the fear of the dark, the fear of the unknown that lurks just beyond the firelight, and the fear of what happens when we stray from the path. The legend serves as a powerful reminder of a time when the world felt much bigger, wilder, and more dangerous. A time when the rustling of leaves in an old oak tree could be mistaken for something far more sinister. Even today, if you visit Leicester and mention her name, you might still find older residents who heard the stories as children. The legend is woven into the very fabric of the place. It's a piece of dark heritage, a local ghost story that has refused to die. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? When dusk falls over the hills of Leicestershire and a cold wind begins to blow, is it just the wind? Or is it the faint, distant howl of a lonely, hungry crone still searching for her next meal? The story of Black Anis is a chilling reminder that some legends are so powerful, they never truly fade away. They just wait patiently in the shadows for someone to remember them. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the dark folklore of Black Anis. What do you think? Is she a demonized goddess, a folk memory of ancient rituals, or just a really effective way to make kids behave?